Just to kind of piggyback off we were discussing earlier, I could tell like, we have different ways, I guess, or different perceptions of intimacy. So I want to know like what is each of you guys' definition of intimacy?
Okay. Let me Google the word first so we can
I'll do the randomizer.
We need the textbook definition of intimacy. You do it so weird. Just type in intimacy, it'll tell you.
All right. The definition of intimacy is close familiarity.
Familiarity.
Close.
Familiarity.
You know my tongue. I got one of those West Indian tongues where it's hard to pronounce. Okay. Close familiarity.
Familiarity.
See, I can't I say vegetables
You need
like
to
it's
slow
just
it
weird.
down.
Familiarity.
No, you added a whole.
Whatever, you guys get
It's
it.
okay, go ahead.
Or friendship, closeness. That's the definition of intimacy. So you want us to all define it like that, right?
Well, no. Everybody has their own. Like that's textbook definition.
Oh, so
Closeness,
you want our own.
basically.
Okay.
But it could be, it could be different expressions or what you see.
Randomizer?
I did it.
It's on me, and I hate to go first.
Oh, okay.
So I think
You ain't see it?
when
I
think of
I put it up there.
when I think of intimacy, I think of intimacy on a romantic level, but I also think of intimacy on a friendship level. When I think of intimacy, like with my friends, I like envision us like in the bed, giggling, telling like secrets or stories and things like that, just being kind of like vulnerable and just being in a safe space.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't necessarily have to like just be like in a bed type of thing, just being vulnerable, but like that's the first thing that I thought of. Intimacy with friends is just like a confidant where I can tell you my life story and you don't judge it off rip unless I ask you for like, am I tripping, am I not tripping type of thing. Just like somebody that's just very unbiased. And I also
Someone who's not gonna hold things against you. Do you feel like sometimes when you tell somebody something they say they're not, but subconsciously or indirectly they hold it against you?
Yes, I definitely think that is a thing. I actually was having like this sort of a conversation with one of my homegirls the other day. When I think of intimacy with friends and romantic partners, I think of soulmates. So when I think soulmates can be male or female. And I think
you have more
I
than
agree. I think you can have more than one.
I think you can have more than one
people.
soulmate for sure. And I think at this point in my life, I think I'm lacking like the sister soul part of my soulmate, where it's just like I am missing a girlfriend right now. Where it's just like I call you and just kind of like rattle off any and everything, and you're just there, and vice versa. But when I think of like romantic intimacy, it's kind of almost similar to friendship, where it's just like I'm vulnerable, I am who I am, accept me. Yes, you can tell me when I'm wrong, yes, you can tell me when I'm right, but understand me as a person. You don't make that face. So it's just like, understand me as a person, know that I have shortcomings. You may have shortcomings, but don't necessarily hold them over my head when I falter.
Yeah, I feel like you're running along like this feeling of liberation with your partner. Like just being able to just be you, just in the rawest form, and it's just acceptance. Like that, I can see that as, like that form of intimacy is just everything. Just being able to be the rawest individual and somebody still taking you as you are, and kind of just, as you change, they change, it's just, everything's not just cut and dry. You're able to kind of like smooth things down and you know, it just meet at a middle ground.
Yeah, for sure.
I would almost, because I was even thinking about it whenever you first said it, and I was thinking
What
about
did you?
it through.
What? No, before Bree said her
No,
piece.
stop.
What were you gonna say?
Stop.
Don't know. What were
Stop.
you gonna say before
thing-
Bree
let's-
said
oh my
that?
God.
I want to know your initial thought of
My
intimacy.
initial thought was literally what she said, but I wasn't gonna be able to express it that word because the one word that she said that's so deep and true is the vulnerable word.
Yeah.
I think that's any moment in life where you're feeling super vulnerable with somebody is an intimate moment. Because even when you think like,
It's
and then maybe that's
challenging
one
for
reason
me.
why. Yeah, that may be one reason why in the beginning of a relationship, a man, because especially when it comes like we're intimate, men are intimate people. I think as though.
But I feel like you don't let your guard down initially when dating.
I think men probably definitely do way before women do.
Oh well. Yeah,
So I think that may be
yeah,
one
it
reason
took me-
why,
it takes me
like for
longer.
us, you walking down the steps is intimate to me. But for y'all, you know, some women may still cover up their body or something whenever they're naked around a man, and like.
Yeah.
But whereas men would probably walk around the whole house naked before a woman does. Like it's so it's like I think I agree with everything you said. I think that's intimacy. Whenever you can be vulnerable, and it makes sense for me in my situation in my life is because I'm not an open book, of course, but like I'm super duper a vulnerable person. Like I'll be quick to be like, okay, yeah, these are my flaws. I'm not good at this. So that's probably why my intimacy. I probably felt intimate in a lot of situations in my life because I'm really I just be like not open book at all, but like super duper vulnerable all the time.
But
I
I
feel
feel
like
like
I feel like I'm vulnerable a lot in life.
When we first started dating, I don't think you were that vulnerable.
I was 100% vulnerable.
I don't think so. I don't think you were that vulnerable.
How
because
so?
I feel like vulnerability. I feel like you being vulnerable means you're able to trust that person with that vulnerable aspect of you, and I feel like you
did.
weren't.
How so? Explain.
I feel like you weren't that trusting because in
No, it's
me.
not about trusting.
No, but
Intimacy
I
is
feel
not
like
about trust.
I feel like in order for me to be vulnerable, I have to fully trust.
In
you.
order for you,
so
for me, I can be vulnerable without.
I
the
think
trusting
being
thing.
vulnerable is like anything that you would say to that particular, say or do around that particular person that you wouldn't do in front of the world. Anything that falls into that
Because
is
you're
being
trusting them, you're trusting yourself. Who
I mean,
you are
see,
raw.
It still
with
depends
them.
to each because I don't think there's
Because
nothing.
a person, I feel like if I'm not able to be fully vulnerable with somebody, it's because I don't fully trust them with how they're going to receive me being that vulnerable.
Yeah, I think it's trust, and it's also I don't know if they're going to be comfortable
Yeah.
with
so
me
do
being
you think
me.
I'm invulnerable with the world? I mean,
No,
do you think
I
I'm
feel like when
vulnerable?
we first started dating, you weren't that vulnerable.
And
with
what
me
things
because you
now
weren't
versus then?
now you're an open book. Now you're completely
Well,
honest.
I mean, what
with
are
everything.
some points where I wasn't?
Well, in the beginning, when we first started dating, I would tell you, I always had I feel like I could sense something. I feel like women's intuition is a thing. I felt like, the moment that your behavior shifted or changed when we started dating, and I would say, okay, my initial thing was we were friends. I'm not looking for that, and I told you that, but we were still kind of getting to know each other. And I feel like, when we were kind of started getting serious, I can tell like a shift in behavior, and I would tell you, okay, if we are going to be seeing other people, I would just like for you to tell me, what I'm saying,
And
you
I
can do
didn't
this,
tell
and
you?
you didn't do that, so you weren't being vulnerable. You weren't being completely honest with how you were feeling, because when I brought it to you, you didn't tell me the truth. You gave me a lie.
See, my vulnerability don't have to do with truth or not truth.
Well, vulnerability to me,
vulnerable
I
is-
feel like that makes I wouldn't be vulnerable with somebody I didn't trust to handle this with care.
So when are you
To
vulnerable?
me, intimacy.
I feel like I'm vulnerable when I can trust you. I'm vulnerable when I know that, okay, I can tell this person this and they're not going to see me differently, or they're not going to try to use this against me later down the road. Like, me being vulnerable is me feeling like I can trust
But
you
me saying
with
when I
with
seen
my
other
heart.
people, me saying when I
Vulnerability
seen
to
other
you.
people, my vulnerability to me is just being able to be myself.
Mm-hmm.
With
I feel
around
like
people.
you weren't being yourself, though.
I mean, I didn't plan to have sex or see other people.
I know. I feel like it was planned. I feel like
No, it's not. The thing is, I'm telling you, it don't.
I feel
be.
like it's planned
Don't be.
because before it occurred, I knew it was going to happen, and that's how I feel like it was planned, because there is a sense of planning, whether it's a minute, whether it's just
okay,
a couple
I get it.
minutes, whether it's like you planned it for weeks or months. There is some sort of preparation for that act.
Okay.
And I feel like you weren't being completely vulnerable because you weren't being completely honest.
I mean, being vulnerable with somebody is intimate to me. And like how you said, sometimes you may be more vulnerable than at other times, but I just think when you're vulnerable with somebody, that's just like, that's intimate, I feel like, as though. So I agree with what Bree said in that sense, is just whenever you can be vulnerable with somebody, that's an intimate moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I
100%.
did not
I
agree.
ain't got much more than that.
Deans?
I don't have much more than that, honestly.
What is your definition of intimacy? Like, how do you feel
That-
close to somebody? Like,
When I feel like I can open up.
how does that happen?
Liquor?
I'm just being.
Be
Honestly,
serious now. How does that happen?
That's
How
probably why people
You
be
said-
intimate when they
That
drink,
too.
because you know when you drink,
Liquor?
people become way
they're
more
filters.
vulnerable.
They're filters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
without the drugs and the liquor, how would you open up with a girl? How would that occur? Like, how do you know when you can just be yourself?
I don't know. I don't have any telltale cues. I just don't do it most of the time.
Is
Until I feel
there a
like I do it.
moment? I want to know. Is there a moment where you could feel the shift or the change, like, you know, like in a relationship with somebody, like you could feel the shift and like, oh, I'm like I'm. This is a different level,
If
like
I-
than
I
what
don't
you
know, for me, if I
experienced
feel
before.
like if they're giving me what I would like to give them, if that makes sense, as far as being open, I'm never gonna initiate that.
So it's like kind of she would have to be like consistently trying to like, I guess, break down whatever
No,
wall
not break
you
down
have
my
up.
walls. No, I'm saying if she's open.
But I feel as though, so the only way that you would be open is if someone is open with you.
Yep.
So somebody has to be transparent in order to get that from you.
Yep.
But if
So-
they weren't transparent, you just wouldn't offer
You
that
wouldn't.
No.
Why?
No, I'm not.
Why?
But
Why?
how
I want
would
to
you
know why, Aaron.
It's a reason why you're choosing not to open up
I
to
don't have
some.
an answer for you.
But that's something I'm saying. Like, just reflect over it in your own time. Think about it.
It's a reason.
You don't have to have an answer right now, but just think about it. Like, why do you
I
feel
don't think
as
he
though
under-
you're only able to be open and vulnerable if someone is giving that to you? I feel like there's a difference between being honest and showing like your truest raw form, good, bad, and ugly to somebody. It's a difference. Like, I can be honest with you and tell
Yeah.
you I like this, I don't like this, get out my face. Ooh, come closer.
But that's me.
I can be honest,
I-
but I feel like it's
I get
different.
that, but that's me most
I
of the
feel like you're
all the
able to.
time
I
anyway,
feel like he has.
because
I feel
don't
like he's
care.
able to give that information, but he already has a protection. This
No, but my
mechanism
thing is,
that
no,
he
I don't care
initiates
though.
when he gives
Because,
the information.
but based on what
Yeah,
she's
he
saying,
does.
I don't care what anybody thinks about me at all.
Yeah,
But
he
you're
does.
I don't give a
But
fuck.
would
I
say
don't
he
care
does.
who it is. I literally do not
you
care.
say you don't care, but you're also not going to give information to any and everybody.
Yeah,
So
but that's
I'm
because I
asking
feel
you-
like you don't need to know.
That's what I'm asking you. What's your determining factor to be like, this is me, lay it on the table. This is
'Cause-
the bad side of me, or the
We're
not
cool
so
like that.
pretty side
I
of
just
me.
feel like if I have the feeling of where this is not cool like that, I'm not giving you information.
Do you feel like he's vulnerable?
Not all the time. Not all the time. I think he's definitely come a long way, and like I have as well in this relationship.
A long way.
Aaron, do you feel like Bree's vulnerable? But did anybody have any other like current event topics y'all want to touch on?
I've been under
Nothing
a
in
rock.
the news.
Not really.
Have y'all been outside in Atlanta yet?
Outside, like what?
Have y'all, you know how they have, I guess, short, like limited occupancy now? Have you been did
No,
anything?
we haven't
Went
gone,
outside,
like-
dined in?
Out to eat. The most he's done is gotten a haircut. I may get my hair done tomorrow. I've been to Home
And I
Goods.
made,
And
and I
then-
made sure to ask my barber to make sure there was nobody in there
Yeah.
when I went.
I feel like even with salons, they're limiting. You have to make appointments a lot of the time, so it's not gonna be a ton of people in there when you go.
You already done went outside there.
Yeah. About to say.
You
I
had-
haven't been
You
anywhere.
had a birthday party with no mask.
I didn't know all them people was gonna be there.
No mask.
But no,
It was way more people than expected.
I don't know. I'm skeptical to go outside, but I'm also like itching to get out of the house and do something. I'm itching to like spend too much money on an overpriced drink. I just I am. I am.
Top shelf me, baby.
I'm
The
itching
complete
to just
opposite.
be like on somebody's
understand.
rooftop or patio, but
I want to go to a concert. Like
I don't
want
wanna be that close to
you
people.
know, I want to go. I wish I miss those days of just being able to like, you know, do a group outing. You know, it be packed wall to wall in here. It's a bunch of fun, like everybody dancing, and it's like I wonder if we'll ever get back to that.
maybe next
Like,
year.
Maybe.
Yeah, hopefully not.
I don't know.
That is it for this episode.
That's it. All right.
It's a
Until
wrap, folks.
next week.
Yes, you guys come back and see us so we can
Prayers
talk
to
some
everybody.
more.
Hope
Share your
everybody's-
thoughts, your comments.
Bless
You know,
everybody.
on
Share.
IGs, you know, let us know. Facebook, we got a Facebook. You know, just share your thoughts. You know, I get a lot of texts, but it's great to, you know, have everyone else view them too. But if you do want to submit something anonymously, we will of course handle that discreetly. But I don't. Yeah.
That's that.
Until next
Until next
week.
week. Once again.
All right, guys.
Bye.
lighter in my hand.
Yeah, that's like, is that a lighter?
Peace out. Hope nobody notices that.
Oh God.
I think so.